Damn right. And you're gonna make a difference.
This one comes with a basic sort of digital package.
Hey, you can make money off my name, make it, okay?
You got the power to change lives, right?
Hello and welcome to the Barry J. McDonald podcast. If you're interested in creating your own digital product or just want to learn more, you're in the right place. Whether you're just starting out or have been working on your digital product for a while, we hope that our podcast will provide valuable insights and inspiration to help you on your journey. Take it away, Barry.
Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very, very welcome to today's podcast episode. Now, are you scared of taking action? And are you scared of taking action because you're afraid the action you're about to take is the wrong action? Now, I know what it's like, because on the internet, there are so many things you can be doing. You can be blogging, podcasting, writing fiction, creating digital products, selling stuff over on Etsy, Amazon, this, that, and the other. And for a lot of us, we're almost like a kid in a candy store. We have so many things we can be doing. We're kind of looking around. What should I be doing? Should I choose this? And if I choose this, is this the wrong thing? Or if I choose this over here, am I going to lose out on something over here that I should be doing instead? I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be confused. And when you're confused like that, it's almost like you're a rabbit in the headlights. In the headlights, you just don't know what action you need to take. Now, what I would say to you is, if you are frozen right now and you don't know what action you need to take because you're afraid you're going to take the wrong action, just take action. Now, I'm probably going to show my age in this example, but I don't know if you've ever seen someone pushing a car. Maybe you mightn't find many people pushing a car anymore with all the electric cars coming out nowadays. But I remember back when I was younger, sometimes if my father's car wouldn't start, sometimes I would have to run around the back of it and I would have to help him along, push it along the road. Now, when it was kind of fixed on the road, when it was just wasn't moving, that was when you had to put the most effort in. That's when you had to really lean into it just to get it rolling the first couple of centimetres. And then after that then, when the kind of speed built up, when you were kind of running along after it, then he would jump in, hit the clutch, put it in gear, and hopefully the car would kick into life, and then it would just take off. But you'll find when you're pushing a car, when it's just stationary, that you can't actually turn the wheel left or right because it's not going anywhere. It's very, very hard to do. It's only when you actually push on the car and actually get it rolling that you'll find that it kind of frees it up and you can turn to the left or you can turn to the right to correct your course. The same is true of, creating an online business. When you are stuck in one spot, you can't go left, you can't go right because you're not taking any action. But what you will find is when you take action, when you start doing things, when you start showing up, when you start creating content, products, podcast episodes or whatever, you can find that, well, maybe this thing isn't right for me. I thought podcasting was right for me, but it seems that I'm kind of drawn to blogging. And what you will do is you just turn yourself in that direction and start taking actions on blogging. And that's what you will find, that for a lot of us, we need to test out a lot of things first before we see what's good for us, what we like doing. We might see everyone else doing podcasts and then say, well, I need to be a podcaster like everyone else. And then we do it, we find we've got no love for it, and we just don't show up enough times. Sometimes you have to maybe jump over to something else, maybe go into blogging, or maybe creating digital products, or maybe going over to Amazon or YouTube or something like that. And then we find, well, this is the right thing for me. But at least when you're taking action, even though podcasting wasn't right for you, you can jump ship and you can move over and try something else. Now again, for a lot of us, sometimes we believe, well, if I give up on this thing, it means that I'm a quitter. If I say to my friends, well, I'm friends and family, I'm going to be a podcaster, and then they get back to me in a month's time and saying, well, how's the podcast going? And you say, well, I've given up, I've started on blogging. Sometimes it can feel that we are a failure. But what I would say to you is, if you have tried something out and you're about to try something else, don't think that it's a failure, even though you might be starting from square one in the new thing that you're about to do. You will find that whatever skills, whatever kind of discipline that you have developed in this business carries over here. Even in my own case here, this podcasting, although I haven't been doing it that long, one thing that really helped me with this podcast, coming up with content ideas, was actually writing daily emails to my list. Now, the two of them have no kind of comparison to each other, but the discipline of showing up in my customers' email inbox every single day with a brand new email gave me a skill of coming up with ideas. It gave me a little bit more confidence in myself. And when I found those people opening my emails, liking them and asking me for more emails, well then, even though I'm not sending as many emails as I used to, I can still take those skills, the stories I used to tell, the fact that I used to show up regularly, I can take that over to my podcast. And again, if I find maybe that podcasting isn't suitable for me, I'm going to learn a lot doing podcasting. I'm going to gain some confidence here being on camera. I'm going to gain confidence here being on the microphone. Again, I'm going to gain confidence coming up with content ideas and all those different things. So if I go on to something else, I can take all that knowledge with me. So you're never back at square one. So what I would say to you is that if you are afraid of taking action because you're afraid it's the wrong action you're going to take the best action that you can take. You know, if you're not sure what thing you should be doing right now, just pick one. Try it for the next 30 days and see how you get on. See if you're disciplined to show up every day. And then you will find after probably a month or so that you'll have a kind of an idea in your gut if it is suitable for you. And if you find that maybe after a month you say, well, I don't think this is right, I want to try this instead, at least when you move on to the second thing, you have gathered some experience, you've gathered some discipline, you've gathered some tips and tricks that are going to be useful in your next thing. So don't think that you need to know the whole route. And you will find, you know, if you probably look at some big businesses offline, again, even maybe some of the popular podcasters or bloggers, if you go back to their earlier content, you'll probably find that their earlier content was completely different. They were talking about something else. But what they did was they were recording those podcast episodes on that content, and then they found maybe that their audience didn't really like that content. And what they did was they just kind of moved over to another lane and started creating content on that topic. And again, they might have found as they created content for that, again, maybe their audience wasn't really interested in it, or maybe times moved on, and then all of a sudden they were creating content in another thing. So they moved over to another lane. And you're going to find that too with your business. You might think to yourself, well, I'm going to be a blogger. You know, in 6 months from now, a year from now, I'm going to be a successful blogger. But you might find in 6 months from now or a year from now, you could be a podcaster. You might have tried blogging, it didn't work out, and then you've moved on to podcasting. And that's what I found even on my own journey online. You know, in the early days when I started writing children's fiction books, I thought that's what I was always going to be doing. And then someone asked me one day, well, how do you create the illustrations for your picture books? You know, how do you do it yourself? And what I did was I just created a digital training course when I showed them all the steps they need to take to create those images, and I sold it. And I found that actually did well. And I found that I had more love for showing people how to do that than I did for the fiction writing. And then the next part for me then was getting into podcasting. At the time, I didn't think I could do it, but I said to myself, well, let's give it a go. And I found that I've kind of a more love of podcasting and doing video content right now than I have for fiction writing, and, you know, more so than probably digital products at the moment. So you will find that you're kind of zigzagging. You're never going to get your route perfect, but you need to take action because, as I said, like pushing the car, if you're not moving forward, you can turn left and you can turn right. And you need to test at some things sometime to see what's right for you. You know, it's almost like going into the supermarket and getting those small samples of food, and then you try it out and you say, well, I like that, I'll buy that product, or I won't buy it, but at least you know. You know, it's okay me saying to you, well, I think you should do blogging, I think you should do podcasting, but that's only my opinion. You know, when you actually try it out yourself, you might find that you absolutely are disgusted by it and just don't want to do it. So give that some thought today. As I said, a lot of us are kind of frozen in place. Because there's so many options on the internet, we just don't know what to do because we're afraid of picking the wrong route. I'm here to tell you that the right route is just to get started, and then you'll find over time what kind of, you know, what is to your strength, what's to your weakness, what you like, what you don't like, and then you can kind of zigzag alter your course to the kind of perfect route for you. And everybody's route's different online. You know, I could give you all the different things I've done in the past, and you could start where I've started, but you could end up somewhere else. Because it's your route, it's not my route. And again, for a lot of us, you know, sometimes we stupidly copy what someone else is doing. You know, someone else is making a fortune doing this, well, that means that I need to do that. And when we get there, we find, well, I hate doing this thing. And you don't want to do that. You know, for a lot of us, the reason we come online to create online businesses is to get away from 9-to-5 jobs that we hated. So why would you do that online? Why would you get involved in a business that you don't like? So stop copying everyone else, you know, work out your path, but take action. And as I said, if you do find that maybe something doesn't agree with you, you're not a failure for giving up, because you will find that there will be a lot of knowledge, discipline, you know, content ideas, all those different things can be carried over into the next business. And it'll mean that the next business you go into, you will be a lot better for, because you've already have that kind of bit of work experience under you already. So give that some thought today, but don't just stand on the sideline and look at what everyone else is doing because you're afraid of what action you should take. Just take action and, play it by ear and see what happens after that. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. If you're interested in learning more about how to create your own profitable digital course from scratch, we have a special report that we know you'll love. To pick up your copy of Piggyback Profits, How to Make Your First Profitable Course, go to writecome.com now. We'll see you in the next episode.